So today on Project Shop we have a little pile of HID light fixtures that came from a retrofit. We are at a Toyota dealership in Delray Beach, Florida, and they went ahead and changed out all the heads over to LEDs. Probably took down a lot of doubles and just replaced them with singles, and we got a nice little pile here. So a lot of these, those are steel arms. Those are extruded aluminum, steel fitters. These ones are nice. I've done tons of these. Matter of fact, all the dealerships just north of here, I did all the lights, and those lights were all like these. These are heavy cast. These ones are worth a ton of money, and these are all 1,000 watters. And hopefully, some of these fixtures look kind of cheap, but hopefully they're all copper, or most of them are going to be copper 1,000-watt lights. I think he said he did 30 poles. So there's 30 heads, you know, 30 fitters with either 1 or 2 heads on them, or some even got 3 heads on them. Look at this. Yeah. So these things are pretty big. They're definitely heavy. And I am out in the middle of the sun. I don't know if I want to do this now. It's kind of probably around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know if I'm going to load these or if I'm going to break them down right here. So I'm going to get something to drink and think on this for about a minute, decide what I'm going to do. Ultimately, what I'd like to do is actually just spread them out right here, break them down till I got the transformers out of the fixture, and remove the steel, so that I load these one time and they're ready to go to Miami. That's what I normally try to do when I come out and pick these up off of a job. But yeah, that's probably what I'm gonna do. I don't know, we'll see. I don't know what time this place closes, but it's a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie, but the reward, whoo man, it's gonna be worth it.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, so the battery died, but I got one of these all the way apart, and a little tedious because in here, to separate these, okay, you either got to get in there somehow, or you can unscrew it with these 4 bolts right here. But the only problem is there's like a bulkhead right here. So what I did is I ever so gently persuaded that bulkhead to get out of the way. And I didn't have a hammer with me, so I used the handle to my jack. Knocked that out of the way. I was able to get in there with my gun and a socket and a wrench, 9/16 to hold on the inside of that right there. And coming out. Now that I know what to do, this is going to go a little bit quicker. I got to go in there and remove all the lenses. Then I'm going to come back and remove all these white panels and these reflectors, and then I can remove the transformer and then undo that plate. And it seems like a lot of work, and it kind of is, but once you get into a rhythm and you just do one step at a time, I'm gonna knock these out pretty quick. If I had another guy helping me, this would go super fast, man. It definitely 2 or 3 people, man, it'll blow through this. So these people just told me they're here till 8 o'clock, which is nice because I'm wanting that sun to go down. I'm out here working right in the sun, man. It's brutal. I don't know if any of y'all have been in South Florida in the summertime, but it ain't fun working in the sun. I know if y'all from Texas, y'all probably understand. But what I'm going to do now, oh, let me finish showing you what I got out of here. So we got old sheet for the case. This structural plate was inside so they don't just rip off the pole. So I'm gonna send that as prepared. That's gonna be prepared. We got some glass, which is garbage. Some big old 1,000-watt transformers, which you know I love. We got some #1 insulated copper, some #2 insulated copper, big old light bulb. I'll show you here in a second how to condense that down. And there's actually a way to make money recycling those, and I'll get into that in another video. Some aluminum and some extruded aluminum. So I actually found, I've been looking for these for a while. They were behind the back seat of my truck, but I bought these ones specifically to do this job right here. Let me show you. So I get tons of these light bulbs, and you can actually recover the brass by just putting that in the cutters. Usually what I do is put these cutters in the vise, and you just, there you go. You can slide that out of there, and that can go in clean glass. That right there, you can refine that down a little more by cutting all this metal off right here. Snips work better. There we go. So you can actually get paid for that metal. Sometimes that metal is stainless steel. Yeah, that's actually stainless steel. You can recover some stainless, and then this here is the only thing that's actually contaminated with mercury. There's actually a little ball in there. You can actually see it. And I'm working on a process of recovering that mercury in a safe way. Yeah, there's a bunch of little balls of mercury in there. So you can condense that whole light bulb down to just this, and then you don't want to send this in the garbage. Take this to your local landfill or a place that recycles lights, and I'll show you how that's done here in some future videos. But if you take that to the landfill like that in a little bucket, I mean, I'm gonna get all of these in one 5-gallon bucket. They're not gonna say much, they'll take them for free. If you take a whole big giant bag of these like this, they're probably gonna charge you. Anyway, so what I'm gonna do now is put the time lapse back on, and just start pulling the transformers, or I'm gonna pull the glass out and the lenses and the reflectors or whatever, and you know, see what we can do here. Okay, I went ahead and pulled out all the reflectors and all the little shields for the transformers, and then I got myself a little bonus. This happens a lot. If you look there, there's 2 1,000-watt transformers in there, okay? And I see this a lot. They'll go up there, and instead of taking it down, they'll just slap another ballast right next to the one that's in there. And which is kind of sketchy because it's adding another 20 pounds, 25 pounds to the top of the pole. There's another one. There's another one. I think there's another one around here somewhere. There was a couple of them that had 2 of them in there. And I could tell right away that one there, that one's probably got aluminum. That's a universal. One aluminum, one copper. That one there for sure is double copper. Those high pressure sodiums, double copper. I'll tell right away. So yeah, it's moving along. A little tedious. Best thing to do is have a screwdriver in your hand, because I'm running across a lot of old corroded bolts, and then you just get the screwdriver in there and it breaks the little pop rivets right off, and then goes pretty quick. A little tedious by yourself, but we're moving along. I'm kind of just taking my time because it's hot, the sun's going down. These guys said they're going to be here till 8 o'clock, so I'm probably going to work for another hour and just get all this broke down, loaded on the trailer. And I got something to do tomorrow morning, so I can't come back here. I'd like to come back early before it gets hot, but what I'll do is just come back at the midday, end of the day or whatever, and do the same thing to that pile there. I probably got maybe half of it opened up here on the ground. Maybe not. There's a lot piled up on there, man. They probably did that with the crane or the boom truck or whatever. So a lot of work, man. But tell you what, I'm looking at them 1,000-watt ballasts. Each one broke down, if they're double copper, are worth over $20, you know. And the way when I get this customer here, I actually pay for these lights, but not a lot because of all the glass and the steel that's involved. So I'm gonna make out pretty good. And you know, there's an actually apparently coming up next week, there's an even bigger job than this coming up. Okay, and another thing I want to show you is how I'm getting this bulkhead out of the way. I'm basically just taking the handle of my floor jack that I keep in my truck, and I'm with two hands, this is a lot easier, but I'm basically putting it in there like that and just pushing down on it. See that? It's hard with one hand right here. Or like if I had my hammer, I would just come in here and smack it like that. So knock it free and then just get out of the way. And now I can get at them 4 bolts right there with my impact and get that steel plate out of there. It's going pretty quick. I don't see any other way or a faster way to get that bulkhead out of the way other than, you know, just smack it. And it's coming out pretty good. I don't know why I don't have a hammer in my truck, but I don't. So I'm improvising with this. All right, the battery died, but I got them all free. Most of them. I think there's one, I think that 3-header, and there might have been one more that I couldn't get the bolt out. That's going to need either a torch or a grinder. It happens. I'm limited on the tools I have out here, so I'm just doing what I can. What I think I'm going to do, I'm going to clean this up now. Basically, I'm going to stuff the aluminum back into boxes and stack them boxes on the back of the truck. Tomorrow I got to go to Miami to pick up a generator, and then on my way out of Miami I'm stopping off at a customer, so I'm not gonna have time to come back here tomorrow. I'm gonna wait for Saturday when I have my help coming. We'll come down here and we'll knock all this out maybe in 2 hours. With 3 of us it'll go really quick. This took a little bit. I think it's like 6:30 or 7 now. I didn't get here until like 3 o'clock, and then I actually took almost like an hour break to eat and cool off, because it was, when I got here, it was like the hottest part of the day out in the middle of this white parking lot, man. It was like brutal. So pretty happy with what I got done in the amount of time. And so there's a couple transformers that are still stuck to the plates. I think there's like 2 or 3, and they'll have to be either drilled or ground out again, or cut with the torch, either or. It's like 1 bolt or 2 bolts that were stripped. But it's pretty good. I got a couple 100 pounds of aluminum, a whole big old stack of 1,000-watt transformers. You know I love them. We got a little bit of wire somewhere around here. There's a box of wire. Oh, there it is. Number 2. As soon as I pull all these boxes off, there'll be some number 1, and then all that prepared steel. So set the time lapse back up, and let's get this shit loaded up and get out of here. All right, I got it all cleaned up. It stacked on there pretty nice, and as you can see, if I would have been here all day, I could have easily gotten all this and more on this trailer. You know what I'm saying? I would have done 1 whole layer like this, yeah, probably up to here, and then stacked another layer on top of it. And if I had to, I would have laid the boxes flat on top of it. I've taken parking lots from the West Coast where I didn't want to make 2 trips, probably twice as much of this in one shot. I had this thing stacked probably 3 or 4 feet higher than the back gate, all up in here and the whole back of my truck. And whew, those are good days, man, I'll tell you. So all right, I'm gonna come back here with some labor and you know, knock this out and show you how it's done with 3 people. All right, it's Saturday and we're back at this. I got some help today, and this is gonna go a lot faster once we get moving. A little heavy. All right, so we're gonna spread these out, and then we're just gonna blow through them real quick. Okay, the battery died, but we got them all open, and as you can see, there's some more bonuses. Look at that. Bam, double 1,000 watters. That's what I'm talking about, man. And a lot of these, I can already tell, majority of these are double copper coil 1,000 watters. So we know how much money they're worth, and it's gonna be a good day. We got all these apart. These ones are a little different. These ones here are actually easier to take apart, and I can tell already by looking at them. See the 3 coils? One big one, medium one, and the small one. I know for a fact those 2 big ones are copper and that little one's aluminum, so they're gonna be pretty good. These are heavy cast, and these are worth good money. I don't even need to split these ones, because that's all cast. Even the center there. These ones are a little different. We're getting all the glass out. About an hour into it, and we pretty much got them all opened up and all the transformers loose. So now what we need to do is come back, clip all the wires, throw all the transformers up in the barrel I brought this time. It's easier for me to transport stuff around in barrels, offloading it and getting it close to my table. And then pretty much the only thing after that is to loosen those 4 bolts and pull those plates out and start stacking this on the trailer. See if we can get out of here before 12 o'clock. Hopefully. That's the hottest part of the day. We want to be out here. It's already hot. Camera shut off because it got hot. So I'm going to have to find a shady spot to put this thing. Maybe over here. I'm going to put this back on a time lapse and we're going to get some shit done. All right, we got it all loaded, and I forgot the damn broom, but we're gonna try to use this box and that plastic thing to just kind of clean this up a little bit. Most of this broken glass is from when they piled it up, so it's not really my fault. Some of it is though. Well, it was just a broken glass that was in the thing. But anyway, we got it loaded up, got a little bit of garbage, got some insulated wire, number 1, number 2, whole drum full of 1,000-watt transformers. Most of them are copper, and we got all this. And I stacked it like this. I straightened my gate up. We're not even going to put the gate like that, because not only do I got this, but I got the rest of the boxes at my house that I had to offload because I had to go move some machines. But we'll get them all on here. We'll go back to the house now and process all these transformers, the transformers I got from the other day, and then try to stack all this stuff up on the trailer and have a nice load for Monday. We got this all strapped down, and we're gonna go back, knock out some transformers, and then pile more aluminum on top of this shit. All right, so we made it back without any incident. We're gonna move some stuff out of the way, then we're just gonna pull that drum off. Everything else here can stay, and we're gonna add to this. And we're gonna free up this drum here. I'm gonna put them on the transformers, and then I'm gonna start clearing off this table. There's some high bay lights over there and whatnot. I'll start tearing into that. I'm quicker at disassembling shit than them. They'll do pretty good over here running the transformer press. I just need to hook the hydraulics back up, because I borrowed them for the jaws of life. Yeah, I forgot to mention, we got done over there at like 11:30. So it took us 3 hours to process all them lights and get them loaded back up and get them transformers pretty much ready to go through the machine. So we're gonna be doing some other things over here as well, but pretty much we're gonna focus on knocking them transformers out and then getting a weight on that copper before I add a bunch more copper to it.
Shut up and sit down.
All right, so I had to jump on the line because there wasn't enough cracking of the transformers per minute being done. It's not their fault, there's just some shit going on. So we got that thing full of copper. That's the aluminum we got out of them. That's the heavy steel. Some more heavy steel. And we're cleaning up some more that some bolts were stripped or whatnot. So we're just grinding them off. And we got a couple more of those. And then now we're stacking all the light fixtures that I had from the other day up on the trailer. And we're gonna have a full load of aluminum here. And I'll come in here tomorrow. I mean, we're gonna do what we can today, but I'm gonna come in here tomorrow and try to fill in that middle with a little bit more cast and whatever else I can find laying around here. We always got some scrap to go through this here. Recover what we can out of there. This is all heavy steel. I like to get to this tomorrow. That's a big old copper radiator. I got a bunch of wire in here. So we'll make a full day tomorrow too to fill out this load. All right, so that's all the copper. We got a full, I want to say that's a 20-gallon bucket or 30-gallon, I don't know. That's a 5-gallon bucket. That's full. And that's a little cast aluminum. I'll check that just to make sure. But that's the steel we got. There we go. And now we're gonna work on this table. I'll keep the copper separated, but I'm not gonna be able to keep the steel separated. Whatever transformers we get next, I'm just gonna dump them in there. There's probably only like 10 left from other things I was doing. Okay, we got it all cleaned up. So that was 8 hours worth of work. That's traveling 30 minutes south, working 3 hours on site, 30 minutes back, taking a 30-minute lunch, and then knocking out a bunch of transformers. I'm gonna say we got about 500 pounds here, and that's what we did at the end there. That's maybe 30 pounds. That's pretty heavy. And then that's the aluminum. Almost, we got maybe 3/4 of a bucket of aluminum, but we're overflowing on the copper bucket and overflowing on this bucket here. I don't know what gallons that is, but we did good. I got this transformer here. You'll see that coming up here in the video shortly. I started that on Romatic's live channel. You need to go over there and check him out. I'll go over there and go live and show some cool shit that I haven't even put on my channel yet. I just temporarily strapped this so it don't fall over if it gets windy. But the whole center of that is cast aluminum. There's a ton of extruded aluminum down in there. There's, I think, 1 or 2 of these are full of extruded aluminum. Yeah. Now, this is what I'm saying, that big old pile, if I would have been there all day, I could have got all of those lights and more in one shot. I mean, I've literally stacked these things up, you know, way high, like sketchy high. But all right, it was a good day. Okay, we are thoroughly strapped down. Nothing's gonna fly, and we're gonna head down to Miami, see how much we get for this. This is pretty much all the aluminum from that load. And I got the copper back here. So we'll see what we get. Okay, as you can see, we made it back. Got an empty trailer, and we got a giant steel thing on it. I actually pulled this out of the dumpster, mainly because it had these big thick old I-beams in there. I didn't know what it was. I only seen the top of it. Once they pulled it out and I seen that it was a frame for something, I immediately thought this here would be perfect to set my milling machine on so I can move it around while we're trying to get it to where we need to get it. Anyway, this is the ticket for that job. We had, let me get in there, 1,131 pounds of old sheet at 54 cents, which was $610. We had 130 pounds of extrusion, those arms. I got 95 cents a pound for them, $123. Cast aluminum was $604, or 604 pounds at 54 cents a pound, $326. We had 458 pounds of number 2 copper. Now, there was like maybe 20 pounds from something else, so we're about 438 pounds on that load. So we're at 1621 on the number 2 copper, 354 pound. I don't know if that went down or up. I haven't been there in a while. And then I bought that, which was 267 pounds at 8 cents a pound, and they charged me $21.36 for that. So the job itself took me 3 days overall. First day I went there by myself with travel and everything was about 5 hours worth of work. I came back 2 days later with labor. Solid 8 hours. We knocked out the whole shit. And then on the third day was just 2 hours of me driving it and selling it. So we got 15 hours in that job total. It was $26.60 in material, and maybe 60 of that was that other copper, but pretty much $2,600 was from that job. So I'm gonna wind up paying $500 for that material. It was like $480. I'm gonna give them an even $500. And then I had $250 in labor, $100 in food and fuel. So a total of $850 that job cost me. And overall, I made $1,810 was left over, 15 hours. So that come out to $120 an hour I made. It's not bad, you know. And pretty much the first day, I did something else in the morning, shot over there, did a little bit of work. That Saturday, we spent all day working on that job mainly. And I mean, not really. I'll tell you what, if I would have had them laborers, I would have knocked that whole job out in one day in 8 hours. Because once we got back here, not only did we get into that, but we were doing a lot of other things as well in that 8 hours. So anyway, and there, you know what, there might have been a little bit of cast, maybe 50, 60 pounds of cast I added to that. But so just on that job, we can easily say I made $100 an hour. So hey man, that's not bad.